Success is, well, really an abstract concept that can mean many different things to many people. It can pertain to one's career and their achievements, or their finances, and how they can achieve a lifestyle they desire. It can also be more emotional, a sense of fulfillment in oneself, being in a healthy family relationship, or sharing the gifts one might have to make a positive difference in the world. Excuse me, Mr. Driver, recline, please. Now, however you define success, for most people, how you achieve it, well, it won't be easy. Whether you're there or you're halfway there or you're on your way, the whole point is to get to where you want to get as quickly and as comfortable as possible. What the hell?
Can you please stop?
Why?
We make videos about cars. You're not a motivational speaker.
Right.
Get dressed too.
You know, Jack, you can be really mean. Like, really. You really know how to knock a guy down from his dreams, Jack. Thanks a lot. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2024 Hyundai Custin. And on this episode of Behind the Wheel, I want to show you why this car is actually good value for comfort. Or is it comfort for value? Whatever. I'm going to take you through the exterior, the interior, show you some of the neat features inside, show you some of the neat features outside, take you through what it's like to drive it and be driven inside the Custin. But before all of that, let's get to the price. The price of the 2024 Hyundai Custin, and if we whip out the AutoDeal app, it will tell me that, yep, it comes in at 1,770,000 Philippine pesos and then tops up at 2,080,000 Philippine pesos. Now, I hear you on paper, and it does sound like it is a very expensive vehicle, but wait, what we need to tell you is that you are getting a lot of car for that price. Do stick around till the end of this video and find out why we feel it is of great value. You know what else is of great value, of even better value, is the AutoDeal app, because it is absolutely free. Not only is it a great place to find out and get all the specs for all the cars you've ever been wanting or are looking for, but it can also connect you to our official dealer partners to get you the quotes of the best prices found in town, nay, nationwide. Now, when we're talking about rivals, it actually sits in quite a unique spot, whereas there aren't many that have what it has, in the sense that it's a gasoline engine and then it's got captain's chairs, which is probably familiar to you, but it does have sliding doors. It fills somewhat of an Odyssey-shaped void, if you know what I'm getting at. Now, if you were to pit it up against anything, the closest rivals would be something like the Toyota Xenix or, in fact, the GAC GN6. We have videos of both automobiles. The links are found somewhere down below. But now let's move on to the exterior, shall we? The Custin up front is unmistakably a Hyundai, thanks to the parametric jewel design, which you've seen on other models. And I really like how the lights blend into the grille, similar to what you'd find on the Tucson. Down the side, oh, it looks like a minivan, all right, with more jewel-like patterns found on the door and more down below. We apologize for the dirt on the car. We decided to get a car wash, and you know what happens when you do that, right? Anyway, these are the power sliding doors that I did mention earlier, which are available on both sides of the vehicle. Then you can operate them by either pulling the handle or pushing the button on the key fob or even a button up front. Very, very convenient. The wheels are 18s wrapped in 55 series tires that sit the car up on 174 millimeters of ground clearance. Now, if you're thinking that isn't a lot, check this out for context. It's only 7 millimeters less than the Tucson, and that's a crossover. So don't think like you're missing out on anything. Now, the cargo space of the Custin is where I'm completely impressed. Check this out. Now, we don't have exact specifications, but with the third row in play, you've got enough room for 2 overnight bags and some more groceries on either side. But when you fold the third row, you can fit up to a maximum of 4 balikbayan boxes and still have space for, well, a little bit of space for 1 more bag. This automobile essentially has more cargo space than the Staria, believe it or not, which we have a video of. The links are somewhere down below. Now, while that car is obviously much larger, it's just amazing how much cargo hold or cargo space you have in this car. And plus, check this out. When you do fold the third row, it, my friends, is completely flat. Look at that. And that's the secret as to why it can hold so much. That is quite impressive. Now, compared to its rival, so to speak, let's talk about the Z-Nex. It can carry the same amount of cargo space. But the amazing part about it is that it carries more than a larger Staria. Sure, the Staria has definitely more headroom, but because the seats here fold flat, I'm just in awe of this car. I am also in awe about the interior of this car, which is one of the highlights, and that I want you to see right now. In the second row, there is just so much to basically gush about, because there just is. The second row seats, all powered, and I mean all, forward, back, up, down, even side to side is powered. It's got an ottoman that comes out to keep you comfortable. Also to keep you comfortable, these are heated and cooled seats for the second row. And then the only thing though is you can't turn around and scream at the kids. It doesn't rotate. But there is a tray in front of you that pops out with a cup holder out of nowhere. Amazing. And then you have this skylight that you can see the stars, or in this case, the raindrops that won't fall on your head. The headliner is gorgeous. You've got map lights, you've got air vents up front, USB chargers, more bottle holders up front, and a wireless charger. Then you've got even more bottle holders on the door. On the door, you've got power windows that come all the way down, and shades too, to keep away any unwanted light or perhaps strangers like Earl. Do we really need to bring him on all the shoots? All in all, I'd say, truthfully, it is a first-class experience without breaking the bank. Now, there is a third row which can fit 3 people, and if configured correctly, space can be quite good back there, assuming the occupants in the second row are generous. Toys in the back include cup holders on either side, their own air vents so they don't have to share it with the second row, and their own controls for the air blower. Sadly, no USB charging points. Here in the back is really where I feel this car just absolutely screams great value. To have accoutrements of this nature at this price point is really unheard of. You've got the Toyota Grandia Elite. That's like 3.2 million bucks. The Kia Carnival, that's 3 million. The Staria Premium is over 3 million Philippine pesos. Granted, yes, the engines of those are much more powerful and they are diesel. But that's not to say that this Custin is a slouch. Oh, no, no. Because under the hood, you have a 1.5-liter turbocharged gasoline engine with 170 horses and 253 newton meters of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. No CVTs here. Now, how that drives exactly on the open road, we'll get to in just a moment. But now let's get to the tech up front. That's pretty exciting. The one huge thing that will really stand out the first time you sit inside the driver's seat of the Custin is just how absolutely clear and unimpeded your view is of the road. The windshield is wide, the dashboard is quite low, the A-pillars sure are a bit wide on the base, but really other than that, you can see everything thanks to the quarter windows here and the fact that the side mirrors are not directly on the car. There's a bit of a gap there. It's really quite large and clear. You may have an issue or two the first time you drive this car because of the length or the shortness of the hood. So you might have to make tansya every once in a while. That's just for the beginning. But even if you do have a hard time, at least there's a 360-degree camera that will aid you in anything that you need. Oh, and speaking of which, the 10.4-inch touchscreen infotainment that comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay also has some fun quirks on the infotainment, such as a PA system. Here, let me show you. Now, kids, don't make me turn this car around. It's a good thing my kids actually do listen to me. A downside to the touchscreen infotainment system, though, is that the air controls are found solely within, and then the rest of the buttons on the side are capacitive. Not that great. Also, there is quite a lot of piano blacks found in the center. I like, though, the fact that there is no gear lever, it's just buttons, and no, it's not that hard to get used to them. On the steering wheel, you do have your buttons for your audio controls and your cruise. There is lane keep assist, but there's no adaptive cruise, meaning it will keep you go from side to side, but you have to control the distance that you have with the car in front of you or not, which personally I do prefer. The instrument cluster is an all-digital affair, which can be easy to use enough. It's not that difficult. I like it though because it's like slim and it's very unique in the size that it is. Also, around the cabin, you've got a lot of cubbyhole spaces found right here. There's obviously your glove compartment, bottle holders on either door, cup holders in the center, and quite a large storage box found here in the center. Now, if you guys ever need money, I can just jump into Jack's wallet, which has no money.
What did you expect?
Sorry. I made him buy me McDonald's this morning. More space can be found underneath. There's also a USB charging point, type A there, a 12-volt socket on the right side, and then the space is obviously big enough to hold even Jack's very large bottle. Not very secure, but I'm just saying that you can put it there. Then the cubby hole in the center houses a wireless charging pad and of course one more USB charger. Again, type A. I also want to add that there are a lot of textures inside this car. It's not noisy or polarizing, say like the VW Tharu, which by the way, the links are somewhere down below. You might want to check that out. It's somewhat muted and works well. You've got soft touch here, you've got plastics here, in the center you've got wood, but really it's okay. I don't mind it at all. What I do mind is us being stuck here, not moving and driving this car, which we're gonna fix right now. But before we do please consider subscribing to our channel because we create these videos just for you guys. Set off on the Custin and immediately you'll feel just exactly how comfortable this car is. It is a minivan, as we did mention, but the seats don't feel like it. They don't feel wide and unsupportive. No, this actually feels closer to that being of a crossover, to be honest with you. There's support from the seats. I don't feel like I'm laying down in a lazy boy. I'm engaged with the car and it's quite comfortable. And I must add, really quiet inside this car. Whether traversing through EDSA, the pothole-laden street, or if you're going through the highway like the Skyway or the North Expressway, it's quite quiet and really comfortable. It's a very nice cabin to be in. There isn't a lot of echoes that happen. And I feel as if that I am driving a smaller car than I am that's something that has a lot of length in it. It doesn't really feel like there is a third row all the way back there. It's quite easy to drive, something that even new drivers can easily pick up. I will not go as far as to say that it drives closer to that of a crossover. That wouldn't be fair. But at the same sentence, it wouldn't also be fair to say that it drives closer to that of being, let's say for example, like the Staria. No, it's not a van at all. It's a different kind of feeling, a more stable ride because it's closer to the ground and it feels like your average automobile. And yet it's got 7 seats. Power is derived from a 1.5 liter turbocharged gasoline engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I would like to say that that turbo does kick in, but it does kick in quite all of a suddenly. When you are at lower speeds and you bury the throttle, there is a bit of a whoa, where'd that come from? However, when you are traveling at speed, it does feel like it's smoothened out. It works itself out, it sorts it out very, very well. What I do also appreciate is, like I mentioned, it's an 8-speed automatic transmission. There is no CVT inside this automobile, so there isn't that rubber band effect at all. It's easy to get up to speed on the highway or from obviously a standstill. I will say this, however, that the time of testing this vehicle, it has only been Jack, myself, and Earl, and a few bags and whatnot. So we cannot, with good authority, tell you exactly what the car will feel like with a full capacity of passengers and or cargo. I'm assuming that it will most likely take a hit, but what will definitely not take a hit is just really how comfortable this car is. In addition to that, inside the city, and this is heavy traffic mind you, you'll get roughly about 6 kilometers per liter, while on the highway, you can push up to 16 kilometers per liter. There will most likely be naysayers about the 1.5 and the 7 seats. I get you. I completely understand. But also understand that this vehicle is meant to carefully and in a pampering manner ferry 7 people along the way. It's not exactly built to carve around mountains, get down and dirty, and race a Porsche up and down S-Lex, which nobody should ever do, actually. So, if you are to drive the car the way it's meant to be driven for the purpose that it's built, you can't go wrong with this car. And I'm telling you this, if I could, I'd steal this car for Holy Week just to take my family around. No joke. Hyundai, are you listening? Holy Week. Peace. If, let's say, you've got a budget of 2 million Philippine pesos for a brand new car and you're not exactly going after the pogi factor or the engaging drive of a crossover, mind you, but the number one thing on your priority list is comfort, both for you and your passenger, it's really a no-brainer. Yes, it does have its flaws, but I believe it can easily be overlooked considering the comfort that this automobile provides surpasses most, if not all, the other cars in this particular price point. Now, while on the other side of the coin, if however you're set on buying one of the automobiles that we mentioned earlier with fancier captain seats and of course a bigger engine, yeah, sure, go ahead. But think of this. This particular car can hold a candle to those cars while still being a million Philippine pesos less. It's first class without the mile-high price.